denominators. Okay, we're going to start with a single term. Okay, so if you are rationalizing a denominator, what that means is you can't have a square root in the denominator of a fraction. So in order to get rid of it, what you're going to do is use identity properties. So you're going to multiply by a value of 1, right? That's an identity property. So that the number doesn't change, only the form of the number changes. But the value or the form of 1 that we're going to use is some number over itself. And what we want that number over itself to do is we want it to cancel out the radical from the denominator. So we're going to simplify our radical in the denominator. And then you're going to multiply that number over itself, because that's still a value of 1, right? Again, identity property. And so when you multiply across the top, 12 root 3 times root 2, we can use the product property, where you can combine the product of root 3 times root 2 together to give you root 6. And then you have root 2 times root 2. You can think of it two ways. You can think of it as the square root of 2 times 2, which is 4, or the square root of 2 squared, where the square root and the power of 2 cancel, leaving just the base 2. But anytime you take the square root of a number times itself, it's just going to be left with that number itself. And once you get to this form, you can then simplify. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and so you get your answer, 6 root 6. Okay, so I want you to try this on your own. See if you can rationalize the following. So this is going to combine a lot of what we talked about in the previous slides. So the first thing that we could do, if you want, you could reduce root 12 into root 4 times 3. The square root of 4 comes out as a 2, so you have 2 root 3. Okay, but I'm going to show you another way, because the way that the fraction is set up here is we can combine this whole thing into one fraction, right? 2 over 12. Since those are both square roots, you can then simplify. 2 goes into 12 6 times. So really you have a 6 and a root 1 on top, so just a 6. And in the denominator you have root 6. So this whole expression reduces first to 6 root 6. And then you can rationalize. We multiply the top and bottom by a value of 1, so it has to be the same thing. The base is 6. So we get a 6 root 6 all over. What's root 6 times root 6? 6, which then cancels, leaving your answer square root 6.